Welcome back to another unboxing here on the channel. And today this is a little bit of a different unboxing. So we're going to be unboxing the new LOSI Promoto MX. We're a little late to the party, but we still showed up. And a lot of people are probably wondering why is this on my channel? What are we doing here? I think that this is going to be a really pivotal product. This is a segment defining product the way that we've seen other models. So I'm talking things like the Traxxas T-Max, the Axial AX10 Scorpion, you know, the Traxxas Slash, the HPI Baja. These are all vehicles that came out that went on to define the segment. And I think that the LOSI Promoto MX is going to do that. This is a genuine unboxing. And so this is like, I have not taken this thing out of the box. I have no idea what I'm in for. And I haven't really watched anybody else's. So we're going to figure this out together. So we were able to get our hands on only a few of the Promoto MXs. I had the choice between a blue and a red. I decided to go red because I feel like red would probably be faster. So we got, looks like it comes in kind of those egg carton shells. Looks like the back of the box has a ton of information. We'll get to that. Looks like we have a manual, quick start guide. Looks like there's a QR code that you can scan for some additional information. I know that LOSI went out and they released, when this thing came out, just a ton of videos to go over the operation, the function, everything like that. So we got some decals. Okay. I'm skipping over that. I can look at that later. This is the thing I'm really excited about. This is what I wanted to see. All right. So this is the Spectrum DX3 radio, and this is a special DX3A radio. This is the motorcycle stability. So this radio, I know that there's a lot of people wondering, is there different radios that can be used with this? I believe at the time, as of this video, this is the only radio that you can use with it because of the different special functions that go into the stability. That's stout. That's pretty heavy, actually. I do not know an easy way to get this out of the box. Got some tools. There are some nails. What is that? Oh, that's probably... I think that those hold down the little starting harness cage. I don't know what to call that. We've got some chain lubricant. These look like different inserts for the chain tensioner on the swing arm. Maybe a servo saver, spring, and a foam block. Probably something to do with the battery to be held in place. All right. Ooh. They only look this good once out of the box. This is sweet. It's a lot bigger than you expect. Those are really big. Those are really big tires. I mean, I could probably see that. Looks like they've got a little foam insert in them. They're glued. They're a licensed Dunlop, which is pretty cool. And then this stand holds the cradle like that. First thing I see, so there's a little QR code with a quick start guide because everybody's very impatient, wants to get out and ride there. Do you ride the motorcycle? Do you drive the motorcycle? Do you, I don't know, operate the motorcycle? Something. So these have a functional front disc brake here, and you can see it's a floating disc, and it has a little cable operated caliper that runs down here. So I've joined a couple of Facebook groups and I've just been trolling that a little bit to kind of see what people are saying. The front brake takes a little bit of work to dial it in. This is awesome. This is really cool. So a couple of things is it has this little breakaway rear fender. So this has just a little elastic band that's kind of keeps it spring loaded. and then it's got a little skid plate. So because this has 3 drive modes. It basically has like a street mode, a dirt mode, wheelie mode, and the wheelie mode is really cool. There's gyro sensors in the bike, and it will use those gyro sensors to sense, like, you know, how far, what angle the bike is upwards, pointing upwards and stuff, and it'll hold that position. And so you basically can just ride a wheelie all the way up to full speed. This is really cool. So the rider figure, the outfit is an actual fabric. You can see it's like a little bit squishy. Looks like the character's squishy. Got a squishy helmet. This thing is awesome though. These little Nerf guards on the side, those are pretty, I'd say they're pretty unobtrusive. They're not too bad. There's a little rubber loaded spring dampener, probably keep them from breaking off, but those seem really flexible, really durable. The chain seems a bit tight out of the box, but I'm sure that will loosen up with a little bit of drive operation. Looks like in the back you can see there's a little skid plate guard that protects the bottom of the chain. Yeah, it looks like those are little inserts for the swing arm, probably just to adjust the tension. Maybe if you get a different size sprocket. So the back, you know, I expected a little bit more suspension travel than that, if I'm being honest. But the shock seems really nice. It's like a hard anodized threaded body. It's aluminum. It looks like it's probably Teflon coated. It's a big bore diameter. And then the fronts seem a little bit lighter dampened. There's definitely spring. It almost doesn't feel like there's even any oil in there. But it does say that on the box that these are silicone filled. It's interesting, yeah. It looks like if you push straight down, you get more movement out of the back. You don't really get a lot of movement out of the front. It looks like the front, the suspension comes from like probably more from like landing off of a jump and more impacts from bumps that you're running into. But otherwise, if you just push down on the rider, you just see all the movement take place in the back shock. These are equipped with the IC5 connector. So the IC5 is a bigger, higher output connector than some of the others, like the EC3 or the IC3. They also state needs at least a 50C rated battery. The reason for that is because this is a really unique design. So from the box here, what you see is that it actually uses a whole separate drive system for the flywheel. This has a flywheel that weighs over a pound. What this will do is this spins over 22,000 RPMs. The normal startup cycle for this is a little bit different than what you typically do with an electric car, which is turn on your transmitter, plug in the battery, turn on the speed control. This does have a little bit more of a setup. It's like radio on, and from there then you have to have the bike stabilized and motionless, similar to just sitting on this little stand, and then that enables the gyros to calibrate so that they know what is upright and what sitting in a rested position feels like, and then you can go ride. You have to start the flywheel because it takes time to get that thing spinning to 22,000 RPM. Know a couple of important things. The flywheel system is a direct pass-through power. This would mean if you've plugged in your battery, if you just leave it plugged in, it will drain it flat. As soon as you're done riding the bike, disconnect the battery. They do want you to use, like I said, an IC5 connector. If you want to keep it within the Horizon Hobby family, you would use the Spectrum Smart batteries. So you can use either the Smart, or there's the new Generation 2, the Smart G2s. The G2s are pretty nice. The chargers are really good. The batteries are really good. But the thing is, if you have a G2 battery, you must use the G2 chargers. So keep that in mind as you're looking for these. This is pretty heavy, so they rate this at a little bit over an 8 pounds operating weight, which is like substantial. In the back, I can see that it has a couple of twin vertical aluminum chassis plates. Looks like it has a relatively accessible battery tray, so that's pretty simple to operate, and it has a body clip on a rubber tether. This has a sprung front kind of headset assembly right here. And if I push forward, you'll see how that comes down. So the idea for that is it's gonna not just shatter to pieces. Behind the front fork right here, this little assembly where normally like a radiator or something would be on an actual motorcycle, it has a hinged brace on the bottom. When I push on this, I can see that this is actually, this little front structure there actually pivots and moves out of the way. That's pretty genius. So what do I think? I've got to get out and I've got to drive it. I think that this thing is, I think it's going to be a lot of work to learn how to drive it. I don't think that this is going to be as simple as what we're used to with the cars. I think that we've got to learn the throttle inputs, the steering inputs, and you know, everything is so buttoned down. I think that this is probably going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to work on. But I could be totally wrong in that, but it looks like, you know, I'm going to be removing a lot of the plastic bodywork. I mean, these seem pretty flexible, so I'm hopeful that those don't get destroyed too quickly. The brake assembly, so that's going to be an interesting one. You know, we have a bit of experience with the brakes with GoPed scooters, as well as like the fifth scale gas cars. So FG, for example, uses some cable operated discs, and they also use some hydraulic discs. The GoPed brand scooters, they use cable operated discs. Oh yeah, and you can see there's the caliper. That's how the caliper works there. I bet we can come up with a little bit better braking material and brake discs. I think the next thing to do is probably going to just be like to discuss, you know, what are the plans with this? Why are we looking to stock something like this? It's because, like I said, I think that this is a segment-defining product. The fact that it actually works is in so much demand. I think that this is going to be a long-lasting product. You know, I think that we have a lot to offer as far as some insights on what can make this work, just with our background with some of the fifth scale stuff that we've done, as well as some of the scooter things we've done. The first project that I'm trying to get going is going to be the tire situation. Proline has offered a couple of tires. They offer a race tire, which is for like hard packed clay tracks, and then they have a Supermoto tire, which would be like a street tire. The Supermoto tires, they went for a scale approach, so they did a smaller diameter wheel and a smaller diameter tire. I don't know if I like that. I understand that it's more scale, but the rubber so far doesn't seem very durable. We've worked with a fifth scale manufacturer for tires, have kind of co-developed and given some design input on tires. And I want tires to be made for this thing. I want to get some street tires. I want to get some more durable knobby tires, and I want to make a sand tire for it. So those are going to be the first things that we get working on. I want to drive this thing a little bit, take a look at how the brake assembly works and see what we can improve there, as well as just things like the headset, the clamps. We have had experience with chain driven systems and sprockets and things like that, so both in manufacturing as well as a couple of like tools that we can accommodate, you know, a chain breaker tool so that you can fit your own, make your own chain lengths. Yeah, I think that that's about it for the unbox. There's not a lot to go over when it's all ready to run. I think this looks pretty good though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know, are you going to get one of these bikes? Are you interested in it? Or do you have no interest at all? Do you think that given the amount of popularity, it's like, do you think that LOSI is going to expand beyond dirt bikes? Do you think that this is a segment that's going to stay, or do you think that this is a segment that's going to fade out of obscurity? Additionally, I want to know, what color are you guys going to get? There's green, there's blue, and there's red currently. I think that this is going to be probably the hottest thing to get for the Christmas time. If you want to follow along with what we're going to do with this thing, go ahead and subscribe to our videos. Tell us what you would like to see. Thanks so much for watching this, guys. All right, bye.